So, UniFI version 5.6.29 stable has been released. And it was actually released a few days ago. I got busy and there's nothing critical in there that I seen that meant I had to do it immediately for security. But I do like to keep up with all the updates. So I figured I'd take an opportunity because I'm doing it anyways, and I'll share it with you how we do this update, and we'll go over the release notes while it's updating and show you how we do updates for ours, because we run our own UniFI controller that we manage all of our clients with. And I've done videos on how to set this up and how to get this going. And I just want to show you actually our update process. And it's maybe just the way I think. Maybe there's a better way to do it. I'm always open to ideas. But this is how we do it, and this is how I feel safe doing it. So let's get started. So first, I keep up with the UniFI news, so I know that the new version's out. I can go over here to our system and see that we're on 5.6.26, the old version, and go, okay, time to update. So I'm over here at the download site, and I can grab the file and download it, and I'm logged into my UniFI box right here, so we can get the file. So let me go ahead and remove that version. Whoops, download. Copy URL, and this is just my habit. I know I can use the repository. I've always done it this way. So we're going to head and just grab the file real quick. But before we do anything, as I preach to my clients and preach to everybody, you should be backing everything up. So we're going to go ahead and shut down DesH now. We're going to turn off my UniFI box. And the reason for this is before I do any upgrade, now we back up everything on a regular basis as far as data goes. That's backed up hourly during business hours and every 6 hours during off hours when we're really not producing that much data. So that's fine for all the data backups. The virtual machines are backed up every weekend. They all shut down. An entire image is made of every one of them. This is, like I said, one of the reasons I like XenServer. It's really easy to create these OVA files and have a complete importable virtual machine. But in this case, we're going to create a snapshot. So here's the virtual server. This is Zen Orchestra. So we're going to get a new snapshot. It created it. It takes really no time to create these. So this is the before 5.26, make sure, 5.6.29, upgrade. Done. There, I've done an upgrade. We're going to go ahead and start the virtual machine. So fire it back up before we do the upgrade. And the reason I stop virtual machines is because if you have it stopped and all the services are stopped, you don't have any worries about anything in, so to speak, being corrupted or a database restore because it's, so to speak, data that's not written or anything like that going on. I completely can trust that the machine is in a closed, locked state where everything is turned off, and I can do a complete backup. And if I need to restore back to that state, it's easy. And as you noticed, it booted up while I talk. I didn't fast forward any of this, as you could see, and the machine is booted up. Takes all of, 2 seconds to create it. Took me longer to type the name than it does to create the snapshot while the virtual machine's turned off. And to boot the machine, shut it down and boot up is 20 seconds maybe. But now I'm confident that the machine, I'm going to go ahead and log back into it, is ready for an upgrade. So now I can look to make sure the services are running. I see all this SDK stuff, Open Java. Yeah, it's running. So it seems to be running fine. I can go in back to my thing and refresh it, but it's running. So no big deal there. So now we can go and upgrade it. Simple as that. Stopping UniFI Controller. Do you have a backup? I sure do. I just did it. It's going to unpack replacement UniFI. And we'll see if there's any errors starting. There we go. Now, when UniFI does the update, there's some issues that it's taken care of. And I say issues, probably not the right word. What you have here is it's got to update some of the database. So I'm going to wait a minute before I log back in and check to make sure that the new version's on there. And we'll run down some of the new features that they have here. So it looks like they're going to be adding some end of life for some products in here. Where did it say that? There we go. controller bug fixes for 5626 from 5626, added model end of life pending warning, some drag and drop optimizations, fix missing action buttons after enabling cloud access, update the Nano HD, and so that's a new device they have added on there. I believe Willie Howe just did a review of that, which is great. Check out Willie's videos. Between me and Willie, we both cover a lot of this stuff, and same with Chris from Crosstalk. And between all of us, we've amassed a lot of knowledge on the UniFi products. Which is great. We all do kind of watch each other's channels in case anyone's wondering. Did you see what Willie or Chris posted? Probably. We are subscribed, not just because we're friends, but because, well, we all like UniFi videos. There's a lot of other little improvements. UAP memory leak, fix outdoor flag. So there's lots of little stuff that in here. Nothing groundbreaking, mostly just a lot of updates. This is interesting that you have a known issue of the 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. If you scan them in quick succession, that will fail. I might be doing a video soon on that. It's a feature they added where you can turn a Wi-Fi off, but in scanning mode, allowing you to see the other Wi-Fis around there. This helps troubleshoot interference problems and things like that, so that's pretty cool. There's also a known issue with the manual site-to-site VPN status is not reflected in the UniFi Controller dashboard widget. Now, I think Willie's done some, but I have not done any. I just don't really have any deployments other than playing around with them for UniFi for VPN. I may do some more testing with it. I've been told they've improved it greatly and they've made it a lot better. I'm still a big PF Sense fan, as many of you know, for the VPNs because it's solid. It works really good with the deployment. I've got plenty of videos on that for both doing site-to-sites and, so to speak, Road Warrior, or where you have users logging in, which is actually on my to-do list today. I got another client to go set that up for. We do a lot of that work. But it looks like there's several device management improvements, improve UX and mitigate some errors, various back-end improvements. So overall, it's just incremental improvements. It's good to see that they're keeping up with things, which is great. Something you may or may not notice when I typed HTOP is that Java 7 is the minimum version, and I just haven't gotten around to updating it, so it's on my to-do list. I'm running Java 7. I just need to update to a newer version. As long as there's not a security risk, I'm sometimes a little bit slow to update, but not too big of a deal. I'll have to look and figure out how to do that. Maybe I'll make a video about how you move from one Java version to another. But the thing that's most important to me is that my virtual machines all stay constantly up to date, even though the only thing exposed on this virtual machine to the internet is the UniFi where for the controller side of it. But security updates are hugely important, and this update process works perfectly fine for me. So let me go ahead and log back into my system. Look at the devices. Yep, there's my home Wi-Fi. Yes, I manage my home one here too. Why not? Because it works, and all of our other clients, I'm sure, are online as well. Go to settings, controller, 5629. Everything's back where up to date to where it should be. So just want to share this with you. It's nothing groundbreaking in the 5629, but if there is if you have an older version, get to the newer version. That's I always keep everything up to date as possible. Sometimes I don't download them the same day unless I know it's a major security flaw, like we had the crack attack. UniFi was on top a lot of that, so those updates happen faster. But I think those just came all as firmware updates, and that's something you may notice as well. And it looks like this is still up to date, but sometimes when you do an update on UniFi, you'll end up seeing the need for firmware upgrades will show up in here. And then for our clients, we just push those during non-business hours for them and push all the updates. We don't have it set to just automatically push the updates. We still do them ourselves because they're really easy to do. You click a button and they go. So not a big deal there, actually. All right, and here's our Wi-Fi in our office and our 8-port switch. This one's purposely disconnected because we're doing some testing for a future video on this super awesome mega access point. That's not really the name. It's actually a UniFi AP-AC HD. We're getting ready to do a review on that. So we've been using it because, well, the best thing about doing reviews isn't just doing the review. It's that we test the equipment. We actually have had this hooked up for, almost a week, or actually over a week, almost 2 weeks now, where we do a lot of testing on it and throw a lot of things at it. That way we can really give you an assessment of how does it work. Because I want to start doing, I've been asked asked about this, about some Wi-Fi comparison videos. So we want to do some comparisons between the UniFi devices. So we actually have a bunch of them, and we've been doing some testing individually with them, and then we're going to do some group testing, like A/B testing for speed and things like that as well. So if you have any questions about doing these UniFi updates, or if you ever need help with UniFi systems, we absolutely can assist you setting up your UniFi, configuring UniFi, or setting up a site controller. It's pretty easy to maintain. There's little tricks to setting it up, but once UniFi, you've seen how easy the update process went. I've backed up every time before I've done a UniFi update. I have yet to have a new UniFi update go bad. It's always just gone really well. And this goes for two things. If you didn't notice on my console here, UniFi Wi-Fi and video, I run both of them on this server. This runs my UniFi video and it runs my UniFi Wi-Fi. And just in case you're curious about this, while we updated it, you can see that the processor usage is absolutely minimal. I've got 4 cores assigned to it here. And memory-wise, we only have a few cameras in our office, but between the cameras and running the multi-site controller for all of our clients that manages all the Wi-Fi and USGs that we have on site, we're not even using a gig of RAM here. So I know after a little while of usage, it climbs up to roughly 1.2 gigs. So these controllers are really not very taxed. The only reason it has 4 cores and a little bit more memory is when you are searching through videos, not just recording them, definitely a noticeable jump you're going to get in processor usage on there. So it is, especially the UniFi controller for all the Wi-Fi stuff, really low bandwidth, really low processor usage. But all right, hopefully this was helpful and shows you a little bit how the UniFi system works. If you'd like to contact here, like and subscribe. If you have questions, leave them below or join our forums where we can hopefully engage better and solve some problems for you. And if you need help with any of this stuff, contact Lawrence Systems and we can help you set these things up. All right, thanks.